Application for this to get back into development. I've actually not been developing for a while, and I just thought it was a really awesome platform and kind of way to force myself to make the jump and do some development. And the way I started was I picked a problem that I personally experienced, which is not really getting some of the platforms out there like Twitter, because my goal, I understand what they're used for. I actually am in marketing with my career, and I appreciate the interaction you can have, but my pain point, if you will, was that I wanted more of a real-time conversation. So I had a couple of goals when I set out to do this, which was number one, I wanted to build something that was truly cross-platform in the sense of, I don't know if Jack can see, I was a Windows developer back in the day, so I know .NET more than anything else. So that kind of led me to researching and learning about JQ Touch and some of the other cross-platform opportunities out there. But in the end, what I decided is I didn't want to exclude computers in terms of the opportunities. If somebody had a desktop, a laptop, or a PC, I wanted to make sure they could still be connected. The other side of it was I wanted to make sure that in addition to being an application, I'm not sure if you guys can see the icon here. It's pretty hard to see. Let me see if I turn down my brightness. The goal in any sense was to build a chat application. And I know that sounds like something that's been done a million times, but my thoughts on it were that if I built a chat that was didn't require any login, no authentication, no user account, that would fix the problems that I have when I've got family, for example. They don't have a Google Chat, as easy as that is to get. So I figured that would be a good opportunity to make it so you essentially just had a link that would take you directly to the application I was trying to create. So there's a few ways to access it. The first way is obviously just as an iPhone application. It's taking a second to load here because that's not the first thing you should see. That's what you would see if it didn't work on your device. And interestingly, it does not work on BlackBerry, so that's because BlackBerry doesn't support the jQuery platform. It's pretty simple, really, so I'll go ahead and log in. And all you have to do to get started is give a name. So absolutely zero credentials to authenticate with it. From there, it shows, I've joined the chat. I'm in the chat. Another goal I had was that whatever I would make for today, everyone here could use it because I'd like to get better at what I'm trying to produce, and I wanted to leave something we could all access and I could get your feedback. That's why there's a feedback link there. But I'll go ahead and post something. I actually have my friend Mark in the audience who he's going to be showing an example of somebody who would be at a computer. Mark, if you can go ahead and go into it, we'll show essentially the interface between a mobile device and a computer, which that was my second goal, as I mentioned, that you could be on your mobile platform on Android, on iPhone, but still be communicating back and forth with a computer. And the chat engine actually was difficult for me personally, because I thought at first, why reinvent the wheel? Over the past few days, I researched like Common Chat, there's some other chat frameworks out there. But what I discovered is that you get into like a really low latency internet connection. So I get to like the iPhone E, where I've got like 1 bar connection. The synchronicity of that asynchronous call gave me all kinds of duplicates. So it's probably something that you guys will appreciate as I try to explain to friends and family, like, why did it take you 10 hours to pull off? It actually was, a pretty complicated thing to make it so I would manage my asynchronous call and serialize the message so I didn't have a duplicate that would take place. The next thing I want to show is kind of what I see as my intended use of this. So there it is. It's like a pretty simple chat application. But one of the things that, again, as a pain point was, if I'm doing Twitter, which I do have to do in my role as a marketer in my career, I thought, wouldn't it be cool if you could, as you were tweeting, basically post a link into this type of an application where you would have a tweet that could potentially include a chat link. If you guys want to test this out afterwards, it's just iGab.mobi, and I'm running this on a $5 server, so maybe wait until we're done here before you do that. But from the tweet then, and this is TweetDeck, an application I use all the time, one of the advantages I discovered of creating a mobile application that was really high on cross-platform capability was, if you look inside of another application that is an iPhone native application, my chat works very very well, so I can go ahead and say who I am again.
Yep.
This time I'm not Connor, John. I put a space in there so it might not actually take that. Whoop, wrong button. Oh, I did put a space in 1 second. Jan, I'll be Jan. It's good enough. And so Mark should still be in there. And Mark, if you want to go ahead and say something, and it's still showing my other account that was in there. But I thought this was kind of cool. So here I was tweeting, and I figured it could be a gateway into a real-time conversation inside of an application like TweetDeck. There are some features I'm thinking about adding to it, and the way I'd like to pursue that is pretty basic right now. But I basically would like anyone here, if they would want to go about using it. This only took me a few hours to put together so far, but I'm trying to do the process of feature development through listening to what people might actually use. So the link that is in that application actually takes you to a list of ideas that I have. Like the first idea, for example, is if you threw this into a Twitter message, it seems logical that you're not going to sit around in the chat room waiting for people. So I figured if it could send you an SMS, which is pretty easy to do, that might be an opportunity to say, okay, I posted about something, I tweeted about something, that's a URL that's very specific to the subject I tweeted about, and then you get notified if like-minded people decide, hey, I'd actually like to have a conversation about this. So essentially the premise of iGab was just for me to get my feet wet again, but I figured, it was kind of, the more I thought about the opportunity, it was something where I was taking a basic concept and going really cross-platform with it, no authentication, no rules, nothing like that. It was a pretty good experience, so there's my entry. Thank you.